on my StreamYard screen time, so we're gonna do this one on the YouTube. So this episode is the Cape and Cowl conspiracy, and it's one of my favorite episodes, and it's based on one of my favorite Batman comic books, which was an issue of Detective Comics written by Elliot S. Maggin and illustrated by Walt Simonson, the legendary Walt Simonson, who has drawn a lot of Batman comics, but tends to not rest on his laurels. So, especially in those early 70s Batman comics, he tended to change up his style anytime he drew the Cape Crusader. So, when he did Batman in Manhunter, he looked a lot different from how he looked when he did this story in Detective Comics. Now, I had rewatched this episode recently. This is one of the more recent episodes that I more recently rewatched because a friend of mine on Facebook had posted a meme that was if you could put a superhero in any horror movie, what would it be? And it had a picture of the Robert Pattinson Batman next to Jigsaw. And I had two things to say in response to this. Hi, Aunt June. Welcome back. I had two things to say in response to that. Is one, the Robert Pattinson Batman would not last 30 seconds against Jigsaw. He would be dead within a minute. Second of all, if you want to see how I think a Batman versus Jigsaw story would go down, check out the episode "The Cape and Cowl Conspiracy." And then I was thinking about it and how awesome it was, and then I went back and watched it, and watched a couple of the episodes that came afterwards. Dreams in Darkness being another one. So that's one that's coming up. Look forward to that. But this is a really cool episode, and since it is based on an issue of a comic book, it does have a comic book villain in it, although it is a one-shot, more obscure kind of villain. Oh, I'm doing fine. I'm about to watch Batman the Animated Series. How could I not be doing fine? So I'm about to watch one of my favorite episodes of Batman the Animated Series. So let's go ahead and get started. Almost done with this can of soda, so I'm going to have to switch to another one. So, but yeah, I ate my lunch, and I got a package from Amazon. So my next unboxing video will be Tunnel Rat from G.I. Joe Classified. That's going to be tomorrow, since I already did an unboxing today. If anyone missed it, I did this unboxing of the blockhead from Eagle Force. Like I said, it's in a resealable package, so I went ahead and put it back into it. I forgot to take a thumbnail picture before I did that video, before I started that video, and then I realized afterwards, oh, he's in a resealable package. I can just put it back in for the thumbnail. That'll be fine. Oh, it's such a great intro. I run out of things to say during it, though, so I start talking about random stuff. And then a great title card, very minimalist. This kind of rim-lit outline of Batman, directed by Frank Power. We got this guy walking around an
tracks and golf balls roll and
abandoned amusement park. He's got a ransom note.
Round-colored banners of all kinds.
Even from just a little bit we saw that, we could tell it was like one of those where they cut it out from magazine clippings.
You've come to the right place, Mr. McWhorter. You won't be able to find me. Just follow the sound of my voice.
They probably could have reworked this into a Riddler origin if they really wanted to, I think.
You're not very diplomatic, are you?
If you're my contact,
Wormwood is kind of a similar character to Edward Nygma, and his design on this show is drawn kind of similar to Edward Nygma. Dramatic music. This dude looks kind of like
okay,
Olin Soul, who did the voice of Batman on Super Friends. He looks kind of like, that's kind of what he looked like. He looked like that guy. And he just stepped into quicksand.
Now then, About that collection of bearer bonds you're supposed to transport? If you'll just tell me where I can find them.
So this guy Wormwood, he basically like this is his gimmick is he sets up these death traps for to you know blackmail people essentially.
All right, I'll tell you.
Good call. Now hurry up. I hate it when people talk with a mouthful.
It's the Olise station.
All we know is this. Last night, the International Relief Consortium was supposed to receive a delivery from...
I don't talk enough about Bob Hastings as Commissioner Gordon. I think he does a great job as Jim Gordon.
Lucky to be alive. He was supposed to pick up and deliver...
He's got like this great sort of sense of paternal authority about him.
Earmarked for humanitarian aid
To starving refugees in Eastern Europe. Yeah, I know.
And much like with Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. as Alfred, I feel like that Bob Hastings has some great chemistry with Kevin Conroy.
You mentioned? You know who that
They just work
sounds
together
like?
really well.
Wormwood, the interrogator.
A guy who specializes in using death traps to pry information out of his victims? Terrific. Look up slippery in the dictionary, and you get Hosea Wormwood. Well, I guess...
It's interesting that it's pronounced Hosea instead of Josiah.
Maybe. Right now, though, we're not even sure he's in town. But I think I know which one of Wormwood's associates might be able to give me that information.
Oh, yeah. I remember this clown. Nothing but a two-bit con man, but a continental type, a real smoothie. The kind who'll do anything for a free meal.
Even a smoothie.
Himself the Baron.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest speaker this evening, Baron Vaclav Yotzek.
And you know, you might have been able to like rework the Yotzek character to be the Penguin if you really wanted to. I'm glad that they didn't do these sort of things, by the way, because I like the Yotzek character. And as we're about to hear in a second,
Madam President, honored guests, this is a rare pleasure for me.
that's John Rhys Davies, who is most famous for playing Sala in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Great character actor. He actually played the Kingpin in the TV movie Trial of the Incredible Hulk. So he was the first actor to ever play the Kingpin. At least in live action, you know.
How dare you manhandle me?
Would you prefer a woman handle you?
By the way, I hope you're not afraid of heights.
Batman just smiled. Batman makes jokes.
That's all you have on your friend Wormwood?
I've told you all I know.
Eh.
What more do you want? Let me down!
Just one more thing.
Baron.
I
It's so
suggest
sarcastic.
better health. You take a vacation somewhere far away from Gotham City.
Yeah. Do you think he's gonna take Batman's advice? He looks pretty mad. So it would appear Yotzek has not taken Batman's advice. It would appear he's holding a grudge. Would it not?
This had better be important, Vaclav.
That's a nice little piece of business with him refusing the handshake.
To me.
Says a lot about Wormwood that he won't shake a man's hand when he's about to do business with him. And a huge poster of Batman.
Keep them, Cowl. And I want you to get them for me.
Humble the legendary Batman? I must admit it is an intriguing challenge, but I'm afraid I can't contain my curiosity. I must know what you want them for.
I will be glad to tell you that, dear Wormwood, if you will tell me how you got those bearer bonds away from the International Relief Consortium.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Have it your way. In that case, I will say only that you will be very well paid to do as I request, without further questions.
He lays his hand on his shoulder and
I'll get to the Batman.
swats it away with disgust.
Won't be difficult. He is
A lot of good, subtle character stuff in the animation there. I'm really digging that. And here's another reason why this episode is so important. This is the first appearance of the bat signal. And you know, even the dialogue will indicate that when Batman arrives. That this is something new.
Got a new toy, I see.
Yeah.
I figure it might come in handy.
But remember, in the early days of this show, the idea was that
Look at this.
Batman was supposed to be like totally an outlaw, and you know, even though he had like, you know, a working relationship with Gordon, they were supposed to be keeping it very secret, very hush hush. Gordon couldn't publicly admit to being associated with the vigilante. But I think it was Alan Burnett. He just missed having the bat signal around, and frankly, he was right, because it's such an iconic part of Batman lore, and it's such a great visual. How do you not have the bat signal? It's amazing they managed to go as long without using the bat signal as they did. Train Town. Dude likes his amusement parks. Maybe it's an actual train station, I don't know.
Looking for someone, Batman? Sorry, you won't find me in there. However, you will find a trap.
Trap. Grunting. Managed to catch the little gate with his batarang there.
1 minute to save that young woman.
She's a good screamer.
But I'll remove her from jeopardy if you simply surrender your cape and cowl. You can push it through the little opening at the base of the engine door. 30 seconds left, Batman.
But as we all know, there's two things you never ever put in a trap. One of them's Doctor Who and the other one's Batman. Female number 1. So is there going to be a female number 2? Screaming, sobbing.
1 second left.
Oh, she was just a hologram. Batman even told us so, just so we're not confused. It's a good shot. That's the one that was on the thumbnail.
No, the first apparatus.
It's a good shot, but it didn't tell us anything about the episode, really. So I don't know if it was a good thumbnail just for that.
So there will have to be others?
Only one. And this time, I shall put the man himself in jeopardy. I have a facility at Delarue's Wax Museum that will serve our purposes nicely.
Just see that you succeed.
Oh, I will. And once you have what you want, you must...
I want you to remember this scene with him talking on the phone and seeing Yotsek sitting in his office.
Where Washington and young Babe Ruth stand side by side with John Wilkes Booth, Batman will find a plan uncouth.
You see what I'm talking about? How they could have easily reworked this into a Riddler story if they wanted to.
Delarue's Wax Museum, what else?
But again, it's nice that they didn't. I think I prefer having Wormwood be a separate character. It's more accurate to the comic book that way. And like I said, that was a really good issue of the comic book. So we got all these wax figures of, like, Frankenstein, and there's a lady tied up, and
Over here, Batman.
looks like Jack the Ripper, and
Come right in.
a pirate or something.
Now, if I
Looks
might
like a caricature
call
of
your
Bruce
attention
Timm
to
over on
sliding
the
open
shelf
along the
there.
ceiling, it's uncovering a 20,000-watt halogen bulb. I don't actually know how hot 20,000 watts make a room, but I do know that it melts wax.
Melted Bruce Timm! Who's gonna direct the Laughing Fish now?
And eventually, it will melt you.
And the comic book that this was based on, that was the image that was on the cover, with Batman being covered in the melted wax. So that was a nice image. Oh, he almost got out with his grappling hook, but then he closed the window. And now he's underneath that wax pillar.
Of course.
Gotta be all
you can
slippery and
resist you by
disgusting.
giving me your cape and cowl.
Cape and
After all,
cowl?
most of your weapons are covered with wax. No hurry, I'll wait.
Ugh.
Oh, very inventive. Do you suppose it will work?
But Batman is cunning and resourceful. We'll figure something out.
Congratulations. But don't breathe too deeply, Batman. It seems that when you shatter the lab, you trigger the release of a toxic nerve gas from a tank in the ceiling.
Wow!
Now, here, cape and cowl, please.
This guy's like on that same level as Batman with the contingencies and everything.
You win.
And it seems like Batman has finally met his match, doesn't it? And then we get our commercial break to leave all the kids in suspense. Maybe they can run to the bathroom in time.
Nothing like a breath of fresh air, eh?
Get a snack.
And now, your cape and cowl, please.
And Batman goes to remove the cape and cowl. He's been defeated,
Satisfied.
but that's not enough for Wormwood.
I wonder if you would put those down neatly over here, by the light. A second mask.
And I like the extra mask that Batman has is, you know, like a Zorro type mask. That's pretty cool. Since, you know, Zorro is Batman's hero. I think Wormwood just honestly, yeah, he didn't really care what Batman's real identity was. It was just enough for him to see that, like, oh, he had, you know, lacked enough confidence against me that he had to wear a second mask. I think that was a little massage for his ego.
I have indeed. But first, let us drink to our success.
On one condition. Will you tell me why you wanted Batman's cape and cowl? Finally?
But you know my condition. You must tell me your secret. Then I will tell you mine.
Huh.
What did you do with those bonds? And who commissioned that theft?
If you really want to know, an agent of the Kyrian Emirates will get the bonds from a locker at Pan Europa Airways tomorrow, when I meet him there to give him this key. Now, what will you do with the cape and cowl?
And this is my favorite part of the whole episode.
I am going
To wear them.
You're not Yotzek?
And you notice the original cape and cowl is still there on the desk. So he had this other cape and cowl with him. And I've got to imagine, even if we didn't see it, he had his rubber Mission Impossible mask over his regular Batman mask. Because that's how Batman
It
rolls.
was you I was dealing with all along.
Playing me for a fool! And then think back to what I was talking about earlier with the scene with Yotzek sitting in his office. That was Batman in disguise as Yotzek. Didn't need to be in disguise because he's alone in his office. but he did it anyway, just because he could. He's so extra. But yeah, I gotta imagine part of Batman's motivation, he probably could have gotten this information in a much simpler way. But our boy Batman, he does have a little bit of an ego. And I gotta imagine when he's crossing paths with somebody who apparently is infamous in terms of his, reputation as Wormwood is, somebody who's about as devious and clever and resourceful as Batman could be. Like, he couldn't resist going toe-to-toe with the guy and beating him at his own game. That's what I think Batman's kind of deal is in this episode, even though it's unspoken. And to his credit, Wormwood's able to, hold his own in a physical confrontation with Batman, too. He's not just some brainy nerd. He's putting up a good fight. I was talking earlier about how, they could have reworked this into a Riddler episode if they wanted to, but do you think Edward Nygma could go toe-to-toe with Batman like this? I don't think so, man. And he goes falling to what would be his death, but Batman's not going to let him die. Hanging on for dear life. Batman's the only thing between him and death. He's still going to try to punch him in the face. That's a villain right there. He just gives up the key.
The bugs in the room picked up the whole story on tape.
Huh. I don't think that would really hold up in court, but this is a superhero cartoon, so.
And thank Yotzek for the use of the hall, if he ever returns from Europe.
Do you think Yotzek ever will return? We never see him on this show again.
And he fingered you as the guy who was going to sell him the bonds.
Huh.
Oh, almost forgot. This came first.
Confinement will speed your reform, but long cold nights will be the norm. So here is a thing to keep you warm?
And what is it? You know what it is. Before he even opens it, you gotta know what it is. It's Batman's cape and cowl. And of course, Batman just signed the note with the Batman emblem. He doesn't need to put his name. Dramatic music. Does Batman have any other kind of music? Oh man, what a great episode. Love it. Absolutely love this episode. Oh, we missed the ending credits. So I'll just wind it back a little bit. All right, so here we go. Bud Cort was Wormwood. That was I was trying to remember who it was who did the voice. I knew it was like a famous actor. So Bud Cort, who was in stuff like Harold and Maude, Great character actor. Kevin Conroy as Batman, Bob Hastings as Commissioner Gordon, Bud Cort as Wormwood, John Rhys Davis as Yotzek, Gail Hedeman as Matron, and Mark Taylor as MC Werder. So yeah, that was the Cape and Cowl Conspiracy. If you enjoyed watching this episode along with me, and I hope that you did, I would recommend to go back and read the actual comic book that this episode was based on, because it's just as good. So I can't believe you run out of things to say. Sometimes even me. Hey, there's Sean Franklin. Hi, Sean Franklin. So we're just wrapping this one up, but you can go ahead and catch the replay and watch it with the episode itself playing, and just have this on in the background if you want to watch it along with me. So let's see. The next episode will be Perchance to Dream, which is a very interesting episode in which Bruce Wayne wakes up to find himself living in Wayne Manor with his parents, and he's never been Batman. Oh, that's deep, isn't it? So again, another great episode. They're on a roll this time. Let's have a look, see at what episodes we have coming up after that. So so it went all the way to the next episode after that. I don't want to do that. I want to watch the Underdwellers will be the episode that comes after that. It's trying to do this thing where it skips the episode again. And I definitely do not want to skip Perchance to Dream, because that is an amazing episode. All right, so Perchance to Dream, The Underdwellers, not one of my favorite episodes, but we'll be watching that anyway. Night of the Ninja, another great episode. The Strange Secret of Bruce Wayne. That's the one that features Hugo Strange. Tiger is another episode with Catwoman, and is an homage to The Island of Dr. Moreau, the original H.G. Wells book in the 1940s movie. This was before the one with Marlon Brando as Dr. Moreau, which oddly enough starred Val Kilmer. On Cults 3D, somebody uploaded a Val Kilmer action figure head, so I'm looking forward to making a Batman Forever unmasked Bruce Wayne. That's going to be cool. Dreams in Darkness will be the return of the Scarecrow. Beware the Gray Ghost is the homage episode, guest starring Adam West. Another Catwoman episode in Catch Scratch Fever. I Am the Night, one of my favorite episodes, one that really goes deep into Batman's psychology, I feel like. Almost Got Him, fan favorite episode. It's one with like a whole lot of villains. Moon of the Wolf is the werewolf episode. Terror in the Sky is the return of Man-Bat. Kinda. Christmas with the Joker, in which we celebrate Christmas with the Joker. Heart of Steel Part 1 and 2, in which Batman faces off against Hardak and the Duplicants, and gets a little help from one Miss Barbara Gordon. If You're So Smart, Why Aren't You Rich is the actual first appearance of the Riddler. Joker's Wild, Joker. Silicon Soul, which is the third part of the Hardak trilogy with Heart of Steel Parts 1 and 2. It rounds it out. Off Balance will introduce Talia. What is Reality is the return of the Riddler. The Joker returns in The Laughing Fish. And then he and Harley Quinn both appear in Harley and Ivy. The Mechanic will return us with the Penguin. The Man Who Killed Batman. Man, the Joker gets a whole lot of episodes there in kind of a clump, doesn't he? Zatanna, which has Zatanna. Robin's Reckoning, Part 1 and 2, which will tell us the origin of Robin. Birds of a Feather and Blind as a Bat, two Catwoman episodes. Finally, the return of Kyodai Ken, the ninja, in Day of the Samurai. See No Evil, Demon's Quest Part 1 and 2, which finally introduces one of Batman's greatest enemies, Ra's al Ghul. Read My Lips with the Ventriloquist. Fire from Olympus with Maxie Zeus. Shadow of the Bat Part 1 and 2, the formal introduction of Batgirl. Mudslide will feature the return of Clayface. And then Paging the Crime Doctor, which they page the crime doctor. So that's another big part for Leslie Tompkins in that episode. And after that, we'll be taking a little bit of a break from the series proper, and we will watch Batman Mask of the Phantasm, the animated movie. So we've got all that to look forward to, and there's still plenty more episodes after that. We're not even done with season 1 after that, because there's still technically one more episode. And then we'll move on to season 2. And let's see, season 2. Yeah, I think that's when we're going to start on Adventures of Batman and Robin. That will be sometime in season 2. It'll switch over to Adventures of Batman and Robin, and then it might be the whole of season 2, and then season 3 is the New Batman Adventures, and in between Adventures of Batman and Robin and New Batman Adventures, then we will be watching Sub-Zero. So that is my plan for Batman the Animated Series, and I believe after that I will probably watch Superman the Animated Series. So look forward to that. And that's pretty much it for this watch along. I hope you enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, there's plenty of other episodes on there and lots of action figure unboxings that I've done on my channel. So please make sure that you like and subscribe and all the fun YouTube stuff down below. Hit the little bell if you want to make sure you catch these when they go live. And we will talk to you next time. Time to end video. However I do that. Okay.